Imagine holding something in your hand that humanity has chased, fought, and killed for. Now imagine another thing, completely intangible, invisible, and born from math, that people are willing to trade millions of dollars for. One shines under sunlight, the other glows on a digital screen. One has existed since the dawn of civilization, the other didn't exist before 2009. Yet both are worshipped as the ultimate stores of wealth. The question is, how did two completely different things, Bitcoin and gold, come to represent the same idea? And how do we decide what has real value? Let's find out together, right here, on History of Simple Things. To understand that, we have to start from the beginning, not in a market or on a trading app, but in the human brain. Before money existed, people traded through trust. A goat for a sack of grain, a spear for a pelt. It wasn't math, it was psychology. You gave what you believed was fair in exchange for something you believed was useful. The only currency was mutual belief. As societies grew, barter became a nightmare. You couldn't split a cow to buy bread, and nobody wanted to lug around 50 fish just to buy a new spear. So humanity searched for something everyone could agree on, something rare, portable, and timeless. That's when gold appeared, shimmering from riverbeds and caves. It didn't rot, rust, or fade. It was shiny, scarce, and beautiful. It satisfied both the practical and the emotional sides of value. Gold wasn't declared valuable, it simply was. For thousands of years, gold ruled the human imagination. It backed empires, built kingdoms, and decided wars. Ancient Egyptians filled tombs with it, Chinese emperors hoarded it, and Spanish ships carried it across oceans. Gold became synonymous with wealth, stability, and even divinity. When rulers began minting coins, they weren't just making currency, they were creating trust in metal form. Each coin represented not only labor or goods, but the promise that it held true worth. Even when society shifted to paper money, those notes were essentially gold receipts. Governments said, "Don't worry, there's real gold backing this." It was simple. Gold equaled truth. Until one day, that truth changed. In 1971, the U.S. ended the gold standard. Paper money was no longer tied to the shiny stuff in vaults. The dollar became fiat currency, valuable only because governments and people agreed it was. It was a massive psychological shift. Humanity went from valuing what was scarce to valuing what we said was. For the first time in history, money existed purely on belief. But this belief was fragile. Inflation, political instability, and corruption could erode it overnight. The world needed a new kind of trust, something not bound to any government or physical object. And that's where a mysterious idea emerged. What if value could exist purely as code? In 2009, under the alias Satoshi Nakamoto, someone or some group released Bitcoin, a form of money with no banks, no borders, and no physical form. It wasn't backed by gold, silver, or government decrees. It was backed by cryptography, math, and a revolutionary system called the blockchain. Every Bitcoin transaction is recorded, verified, and stored on thousands of computers worldwide. It can't be forged, and its supply is capped at 21 million coins, making it digitally scarce. Bitcoin took gold's best trait, rarity, and applied it to the digital world. Suddenly, scarcity wasn't mined from the earth, it was programmed into existence. For believers, Bitcoin became the modern gold. They called it digital gold, a hedge against inflation and government control. For skeptics, it was a glorified algorithm, a speculative bubble with no intrinsic value. But that word, intrinsic, is where things get interesting. Ask 10 economists what gives something value, and you'll get 10 different answers. Some say it's utility, what it can do. Others say it's scarcity, how hard it is to get. But history shows that value is less about the object and more about the story we tell about it. Gold's story is one of physical permanence. You can hold it, melt it, or wear it. It has industrial uses and has survived every economic collapse in history. Bitcoin's story, meanwhile, is about digital permanence. You can't touch it, but you can transfer it instantly to anyone, anywhere. It resists inflation, censorship, and control. Both draw their power from the same human impulse, trust in scarcity. Gold is scarce because the earth made it that way. Bitcoin is scarce because humans coded it that way. In both cases, the scarcity is real, just expressed through different worlds, one physical, one digital. Today, Bitcoin and gold occupy opposite ends of the same philosophical spectrum. Gold is tangible, ancient, and deeply tied to our physical reality. Bitcoin is intangible, futuristic, and purely digital. One feels heavy in your hand, the other exists only as numbers on a screen. Gold loyalists argue that only something you can touch has real value, that Bitcoin could vanish if electricity stopped or if the internet failed. Bitcoiners fire back that gold is slow, hard to move, and stuck in the past. To them, Bitcoin is faster, smarter, and more democratic. It doesn't require vaults, banks, or guards. Your wealth exists wherever you have your private keys. But both camps miss one crucial point. Value has always been imaginary. Whether it's gold or code, both depend on people agreeing that it means something. Once that belief fades, even gold is just metal, and Bitcoin is just data. So, which is more real, gold or Bitcoin? The truth is, value evolves with our environment. In a world of trade caravans and treasure chests, gold made perfect sense. In a world of cloud servers and global digital trade, a decentralized currency might be just as logical. Both have proven that as long as people believe, value exists. And maybe that's the ultimate revelation. Value is not found in the object, but in us. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.